Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Blackrock Depths, and more specifically we're going to talk about the Blackrock Depths raid in patch 11.05. This is a brand new level 80 10 to 15 player raid coming to the game with patch 11.05 and the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft. But before we jump into everything you need to know about this raid, just want to shout out the sponsor of this video, and that is Boot.dev. Boot.dev is an online platform where you learn back-end web development from start to finish in Python and Go programming languages. Boot.dev know that the smartest way to learn code is to make sure you're never bored. Boot.dev is online, self-paced, and feels like a captivating RPG game. This platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code because they know that getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is the only real way to learn. And programmers have an amazing earning potential. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary for back-end developers in the US in 2023 was over $100,000. And better yet, programmers often have the option to work remotely or from home. So click the link in the description and use my code MrGM to get 25% off your first month or even your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. And thanks again to Boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Right, so yes, Blackrock Depths is coming back. It is coming back in patch 11.05. As of the recording of this video, we do not have a release date for 11.05. However, it is very heavily rumored to be October 22nd. This raid is directly related to the event, and we've had no further confirmation whether or not it is staying after the event, but as of right now, it is scheduled to end on January 7th. So October 22nd to January 7th. This is, though, a fully fledged raid. This will be available in Raid Finder, Normal, and Heroic mode. So this is a regular raid, which will drop gear, which is going to be relevant to you and your character. Now, to enter this raid, you will need to speak to Moira at the Caverns of Time for Normal and Heroic mode. Obviously, if you just want to queue into Raid Finder, you can just use the Dungeon Finder for that. This, of course, will be cross-faction for Normal and Heroic modes like any other regular raid. What's really cool about this is this raid will actually give you progression on your Great Vault on the raid row. So all of the 8 main bosses will actually give you credit towards your weekly Great Vault. So let's talk about bosses in the raid. Now, I was pretty impressed with this because I genuinely thought maybe it's just going to be, you know, the regular bosses with slightly higher damaging mechanics, but they've gone full out on this. They've made entirely new boss mechanics similar to something you'd see in like a regular seasonal raid in the War Within, which is really impressive actually. I've done a lot of testing of this on the PTR. It's been a ton of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to trying this with an organized group or with a guild or even with a pug. It's going to be a lot of fun to take on these bosses again. Now, in regards to PTR testing, it was hard to get an idea of how difficult this raid's going to be just because of the scaling, because we were scaled down to basically LFR gear in normal, so it made it a little bit harder, but with a little bit of organization we can get through the mechanics. So I don't think this is going to be particularly harder than Nuremberg Palace in some regard. So there are 8 main bosses in the raid and 5 mini bosses. So for the main bosses, you have Lord Rockar, Baelgar, Lord Incendius, Golem Lord Argelmark, the 7, General Angerforge, Ambassador Flamelash, and the final boss, of course, will be Emperor Dagrand Thurison. As for mini-bosses, you'll have High Interrogator Gersten, Howlmaster Grebmar, Phineas Darkvire, Phalanx, and Pyromancer Lorgrain. So a ton of bosses in this raid. Of course, the main bosses having full mechanics, and then the mini bosses just having, like, you know, the odd thing here and there. Most of the time you don't even realize you're attacking them, and then they drop like random BOEs or something like that at a slightly lower item level. But yeah, really cool to see some of these bosses returning from the original Blackrock Depths. So let's talk about loot. What is going on with the loot in this raid? Well, you'd be happy to know that this drops the exact same item levels as the Nuremberg Palace. So on Raid Finder, you can expect Veteran gear. That's item level 584 to 593, upgradable to 606. In normal mode, you can expect Champion gear starting at item level 597, going up to 606, and of course, upgradable to 619. And then in Heroic mode, of course, you will get Hero Track gear, starting at item level 610 and going all the way up to 619 and upgradable to 626. So yeah, pretty great loot from here. The items you can expect from this is Blackrock Depths gear with very similar effects like the Hand of Justice and Eye Info and things like that. Slightly adjusted and upgraded to 2024 standards, But yes, the appearances and everything like that are standard across the board, and there doesn't look like there's any particularly new appearances dropping from this, so that's good in regards to Transmog Collection. But yeah, the gear here is going to be pretty competitive compared to some of these stuff from Nuremberg Palace, and potentially the raid will be a lot easier, so this is a really nice way to catch up some of your alts, or just change up your raid night and go into Blackrock Depths instead of Nuremberg Palace. And finally, one thing that's really cool about this raid is that it actually has purchasable gear similar to bullions. So in this raid from bosses, you'll be getting these new items called Time Warped Relic Coffer Keys. Now these drop on each difficulty, so there's a version for Raid Finder, Normal, and Heroic. The maximum you can get from each difficulty is 120, and these are used to purchase any item from the raid. So basically, if you just kill bosses in each difficulty, you can get 3 guaranteed items from each difficulty using these keys. Now each main boss will drop around 3 to 4 keys per kill, and then the mini bosses will drop 1 to 2, so you're going to get quite a few keys for each of your runs. And as mentioned, there is a maximum of 120 per difficulty per character. These are not account wide, this will be a per character basis, so you can just purchase some of the best drops from this raid if you didn't get lucky with loot, which is really nice actually. I really like the bullion system, and it's really cool to see it coming in here as a nice little catch up for Season 1 of the War Within. So there you go, that is everything you need to know about the new Blackrock Depths raid coming in patch 11.05. It's really cool to see this coming in, really interesting to see it being a 10 to 15 man raid as well. Is this something we could see more in the future, kind of like a mini raid of sorts, or sort of like a half season? Very nice, really good for catch-up gear, and just going to be a lot of fun. I'm kind of hoping it does stick around. This doesn't seem directly linked to Time Walking Classic, however there's certainly a chance it could come back with Time Walking Classic, as that's now going to be in the regular rotation. So guys, let me know what you think of this raid down below in the description. Are you going to be doing it? Are you excited for it? What do you think? Do let me know. But if you like this video, guys, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter, MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And I am also streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, War Within PTR, 11.05 PTR, this is where we did all the testing on stream. So if you do want to get involved with that, guys, do check me out on stream at twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.